Welcome. This is Team YinYang, and this is going to be a deck profile over Monarchs, right?
Yeah. Domain Monarchs.
Alright. Go for it.
Okay.
Do your thing.
So this deck is my current deck for this format and Link format coming up. It's basically this deck doesn't need an extra deck. If you guys don't remember when Monarchs were big, they were like one of the top decks of the format.
They were disgusting.
They were literally disgusting. Like, I love the deck, and it was so ridiculous because it was cheap. It's not one of those decks you have to spend like a couple $100 on. You could literally just buy 3 structure decks and play the deck, and then you have the whole deck right there. So my build is 3 Erebus. The main boss monster of this deck.
Weren't you mad because
You gotta put since Aether is at 1. Sad face, rest in peace. you gotta play 3 Erebus just to level up the deck. I mean, you play 3 Erebus anyway because it's like the best card in the deck.
True.
And then I play 1 Thestalos.
Ooh, Thessalos.
Yeah, Mega Thestalos. Basically, this card. Basically, get this card. Summon this out. Look at your opponent's hand for free. Look at your opponent's hand. Get a card out of hand. And if it's a monster, deal 200 times their level.
Ooh, that's really good.
Then 2 Karaz, the Light Monarch. Can't tell, these are Germans.
What? They're German?
Yeah, they're German.
Ooh.
Yeah, they're German
Look at
supers. These were $20 back in the day. Back when this deck was big.
How much is it now?
$5.
Wow, five
Guess
bucks.
how much I paid for it back in the day?
Wow.
$5. I used yeah. So you play 2 of this. Well, I play 2 of it. Some people play 3 for consistency because you pop back. Because there's ways you can pop cards, draw cards. But I play 2 just because it works for me because it gets cloggy. I play 2 of that because I play 3 Vanity's Fiend.
You don't play 2?
No, I play 3.
Oh.
3 Vanity's Fiend. You want to see this as much as possible. So you play 3 of this. You bring this out. Any deck this format, you win.
Okay.
Because every deck this format, besides some other decks that I'm not going to say because they're not good.
I understand.
They're not relevant. Vanity's Fiend basically shuts down the whole deck.
Okay.
Then that's it for the big ones. For the little ones, I play 3 Idia.
Oh, so you don't play Majesty's Fiend?
Oh, I side Majesty's Fiend. Oh no, I actually don't side it at all.
So you don't. Oh.
No, I don't run Majesty's Fiend at all in this build.
Well, I get.
I will be in Link format, but maybe not. Link format is going to be mostly revolve around the extra deck with Link summoning, and you basically bring out Vanity's Fiend, and then they can't play. Okay, so EDF, 3 of these. You got to play 3 because I also play 3 of the other one, 3 of the other Squire. Eidos. 3 and 3, most consistent way to play it. I did play Mithra for a little bit, but testing 3 Eidos is 2 Eidos and a Mithra is a little bit better. Even though you don't get that extra trip you summon off Mithra, it's still good.
Right.
Then for the that's it for the Monarch cards. For the hand traps, I play 2 Ghost Ogre, 1 Maxi.
No 3 Ghost Ogre?
No, 3 Ghost Ogre is a little cloggy for me. Maxi is like the best hand trap. If this card doesn't get banned, Konami's doing something wrong. They've hit this down to 1. They've hit this to 2, and they've hit this to 1, and it's still relevant.
What about the big forehead? Ghost Ash. Ghost Ash.
Ghost Ash?
Yeah.
Ash Blossom is good, but in my opinion, it's not really that relevant because it only consists. It's like a 1-turn hand trap, 1-time hand trap that if you draw, you can only activate it once per turn. Effect. So even if you dead draw 2, you can't activate both effects per that turn, and you basically discard it, negate a Brilliant Fusion, negate a Rhoda, anything that adds a card from deck to hand or lets you special summon from the deck. Yeah, you can negate Broad Bull, Zodiac Broad Bull, but I mean that's a one-time thing. They're just gonna go into something else. It's more better if you side 3, and I had one at one point. I just sold it because there's no point in trying to get 3. They're too expensive right now. But Ghost Ogre is better in my opinion because you discard this card. Anytime the card activates an effect like a monster, discard it's destroyed. It doesn't negate the effect, but it destroys it, and it makes a lot of cards miss timing.
True.
I'll explain that in a minute. But for the rest of the spells, it's 3 of the best spells in the deck. Domain the true Monarch.
Domain? Is seeing.
Why Konami hit Pantheism and not this is beyond me.
It's beyond me. I mean, when I was playing against it, Domain, I always saw Domain. I always saw
You
Domain.
always want to see Domain.
And-
that's the thing.
Right.
Domain is like the best card in this deck. Like it's the main boss card. Like you basically tribute summon a monster, get this out, and you that makes no extra deck. And the cool thing about Link format is you don't have to worry about using an extra deck if you ain't got one.
Right. It disrupts all them
It
Link
disrupts Link
summons.
summonings. It disrupts Link summonings because they're already going to have enough trouble trying to strategically make a play with Link monsters, but they also have to revolve around this, get off over this. That too. Yeah, also depends on the archetype or whatever.
Yeah.
Then 3 of the search card. Again, they hit Pantheism, but they didn't hit the search card. They didn't hit the road of the deck. Seriously.
Konami, what are you doing?
This card literally searches. You gotta play 3 of this because it searches every Monarch spell trap in your deck. Now, a lot of people play 3. I play 2. Return of the Monarch. Return of the Monarch is a continuous spell that lets you search when it's tribute summon. You search for your deck for Monarch. You add it to your hand, and basically, the main play is to like summon Eidos, activate return, tribute for Karaz, and then you use effect to pop an opponent's monster, pop return. This is how you do it with chain links. You revolve return first, then Karaz's effect. What Karaz does is you can pop up when this card is normal special summon. You can pop up to 2 cards in the field. The controller of those cards, whatever side of the field you popped from, that player draws a card for each card. So what I do is I activate return first, normal summon Eidos, or anything, and I'll tribute for Karaz. Then I'll activate return first, then Karaz. Like use return to search like Aether, add Aether to hand, and then use Karaz to pop, and then I draw. And then I draw a card. It's like an easy +1 you can do.
Alright.
For this deck.
There's probably like some kind of combo video on YouTube, but we're not gonna go through that. That's pretty long.
I can go through combos later.
That'll probably be a separate video.
For the 1-0s, it's 1 Pantheism.
Sad
face, rest in peace.
I mean, they hit a little bit of something though.
Yeah, they had. Honestly, this is not really the one they had to hit, even though this card made basically at 3, you could draw 8 cards in 1 turn.
Right. Zodiacs, why?
The only reason they really put this to 1 was because of a magical explosion at decay.
Yeah.
Because people would play 3 of this and 3 Monarch cards, so that can just like, oh hey, discard, draw 2, discard, draw 2, magical explosion at the end of your turn, deal 8,000 damage.
Right.
Then this is the one card that needed to get hit. I'm sad that it hit Stormfront with Monarchs. This is why Aether got put to 1. This card says you can tribute my opponent's monsters as tribute fodder. This card single-handedly would be, and Aether's effect is that you can banish a Monarch spell trap card from your graveyard to tribute summon this card during your opponent's turn. This card would single-handedly end turns. You could literally activate Stormforth. Well, you play 3 at the time. Search this to get the Stormforth in hand. Have like another Monarch card on the board. Say Erebus. And if you didn't need that Erebus, tribute. Tribute, effect, banish a Monarch spell trap card from your grave. Target an opponent's monster, tribute. Summon. Effect, send 2 Monarch spell trap cards, special summon an Erebus, but what I would do, I would special summon Karaz.
Always Karaz?
Always Karaz the first time you go Aether, then you pop 2 cards on my opponent's board.
Okay.
That would single-handedly shut down turns because, yeah, your opponent would get to draw 2 cards, but if those 2 cards aren't what they need to, like, establish another board, because at that point, you had waited till your opponent established a board, and when they go to enter their battle phase, that means you can chain this during the end of their main phase. And so, as it's between the effect of main phase 1 and battle phase, you can activate this card's effect. All of this is happening in between the main phase and battle phase. So you can chain this card's effect, special summon, and then activate its effect to pop 2 cards. This deck single-handedly, if you can't tell, got me my Nats.
Yeah, look at that.
Got me my Nats invite last year.
Last year?
Yeah, last year.
Ooh.
I did not get my fight this year with Monarchs. I was trying to, but it didn't happen. Then it's... Shut up. Frostblast of the Monarchs is another one. March of the Monarchs. March of the Monarchs is good because... Well, anyway, Frostblast is a good card because you activate this card. It's basically your MST, which you can also side like Twin Twisters, whatever. Activate Frostblast, and you basically pop a set card on the board. It's not a set spell or trap; it's a set card, which means if your opponent has a monster set, that you can target that to destroy it.
That's weird.
Or a set field spell, whatever.
That's broke.
It pretty is because you can if you do it right, you can activate this card 4 times.
That's broke.
Yeah, I can activate this from my hand, banish it, add it back to hand because of
Not that card.
because
Definitely.
this
not
card's
that
effect. Idiot, when this card is sent from field to sent to the graveyard, period, you can add a banished Monarch spell or trap card to your hand. So I activate this, activate this, tribute summon again, banish it, add this back to hand off Idiot, then activate it again, then banish it again, and pop 4 cards off this one card. Literally do 4 pops off 1 card.
That's broke, man. That's broke.
Then March of the Monarchs, my opponent can't target anything.
Right.
My opponent, they can't target for Trident. Like if they say they have Trident and I activate this first and then tribute summon, they can't activate anything.
Oh, okay.
Except maybe like Solemn Warning or something. Like Solemn Warning, Solemn Strike. That's a ruling I don't even know about because it technically says they can't Solemn Strike a Monarch card, but they can activate it and chain to the effect. But it's kind of weird because it's like at that point already on the field,
right?
And they can't target it for the effect negation.
Right.
But for the rest of the spells, it's Foolish Burial Goods.
Ooh.
This card, I want to play this at 2, but I'm testing it at 1. What this does is you activate this card, send a spell or trap card from your deck to your graveyard. I can only activate once per turn. One of these per turn. This allows you to send Pantheism, Frostblast, any Monarch spell or trap card you want to the grave for free.
Right.
And the reason you play that is I'll show you my traps. Tribute Burial. This card, people don't know what this does, but Monarchs, it's ridiculous. This card says for the rest of the turn I cannot special summon, but once during this turn only, I can conduct a tribute summon that requires 2 tributes by banishing 1 monster from either player's graveyard.
Either player?
Yeah, so it says from each graveyard instead of tributing. This counts as a tribute summon.
Konami, what are you doing?
Exactly. This card, I want to play this at 2. I have 2 of these. I want to because I can activate this tribute. Like say I'm playing against Zodiac. I'm going second. Activate Tribute Burial. Banish their Momarat or their Rapier. Banish a monster from my grave. Say I activate Maxi, and they get the Rapier off to go Borbo and they pass. And I'm just like, okay, Tribute Burial, banish Rapier, banish Maxi, Tribute Summon Erebus, send the Borbo back to deck. Back to extra deck. Or just spin a card back to the deck. But then I play 1 Foolish, 1 Reinforcement, 1 for 1 Regeki. Why this card's still up the list, I don't even fucking know.
Just give us Harpy's Feather Duster.
No, like Harpy's Feather Duster would even be better than this because you're just like, oh hey, this is a rare. This card that's been reprinted 4 times. And each copy is $20.
Right.
Every copy of this card's reprint is $20. God, I love how they just made hollows of these.
Two hollow Prime Monarchs.
They just in the OTS packs they made a hollow.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They did the same thing for Domain.
Really?
Yeah,
I did not notice that.
Yeah, in Mithra. Prime Monarch, this card basically you activate when this card's in your grave. That's why I play.
Slides that over right there.
That's why I play Foolish Burial Goods. This card lets me send a Monarch spell trap card from my deck to my graveyard. I can send Pantheism, and what Pantheism does, well, if you don't know what Pantheism does, you can banish this card, like reveal, not that, like 3 Monarch spell trap cards from your deck to your opponent, and then your opponent picks a card, and that card goes to your hand.
Right.
What people don't realize, keep forgetting, is that you can reveal 3 of the same card.
Right. I mean, you can do this. You can do the same thing with Cosmos.
Well,
too.
yeah, you can. Well, yeah, if you're playing Cosmo Tin Can.
Right.
Yeah, with Tin Can, you can reveal 3 of the same cards. Basically, a spell trap version of Tin Can.
Right. That'll be a separate a later video.
Yeah, but Foolish Bureau Goods, this will let me send a Prime to grave, so that way I can attribute fodder. The reason I say that is because Prime's effect in Graveyard is you can banish a Monarch spell or trap to special summon this card in defense position. And it's not a trap monster, actually. It's actually a normal monster. So you can Xyz summon with this card.
What?
Yeah. There was a deck out there when when this deck was a lot huge, like during last year's Nationals. It was called EDM, Extra Deck Monarchs. People would literally special summon this and use Brilliant Fusion with Jack's Knight, and Gem Knight Lazuli, because you will be able to add the Jack's Knight to hand and special summon it. Special summon it off something, I don't remember.
Right.
Or just tribute summon it. And you would be able to get Prime Monarch out, get that in overlay for like Pleiades, Constellar Pleiades, or whatever. So Prime. What's also good about Prime Monarch is people told me, I found this out at Nats last year. Prime Monarch, you activate its trap effect is you can send a Monarch spell trap, 2 Monarch spell traps from your deck to your grave, or from your grave back to your deck, and then draw a card. But what people don't know is, say you have a Prime, a Pantheism, and like 2 more Monarch spell traps, like
It doesn't matter.
Tenacity or Return. Say this is your graveyard. Say that's your graveyard right there. You activate Prime, targeting Prime Monarch and Pantheism to send back to deck. You can chain Prime Monarch's effect to special summon by banishing another Monarch spell or trap, not the one you targeted for the effect of Prime on field, but banish it, special summon Prime, send the Pantheism back to deck, shuffle, and then you draw a card.
Any card.
Any will, and then you just draw a card.
Okay.
But yeah, people were doing that literally so they could only they would just send the what they needed, and they would special summon the Prime for a tribute summon.
That's brilliant.
And then the last card of the deck is Song Scolding.
Scolding?
Yeah.
What does that do?
You pay 3,000 life. It says if this card is the only set card. If this is the only set card on the spell or trap card zone, when a monster would be summoned or a spell or trap card would be activated, or monster effect will be activated, pay 3,000 life points, negate the summon or negate the activation if you destroy. This is basically a Solemn Strike, a cheaper version of Solemn Strike, and this deck abuses it because you don't set cards. Literally, this entire deck does not set spells and traps.
At all.
At all. Except maybe Prime, but you activate it at the beginning of the turn. Unless you want to recycle some cards, but I don't even do that in this build.
Right.
This deck does not set traps because you can literally play this without any repercussions.
Alright. Any extra deck?
No. What do you think?
Alright. Let's go on to the side deck.
The side deck is Kaiju Engine, 2 Slumber, double Gamma Seal, 1 Jisakira.
Okay.
This card is for specifically Zodiac Flying Seas. What this card does when you're either player's turn, during your opponent's turn, when your opponent normally special summons monsters, except during the damage step, I can special summon this card to the side of the field. My opponent cannot conduct Xyz summons.
Yeah.
They cannot Xyz summon monsters. Now you want to play this against pure Zoo. If you're playing against Zoo Drake, like Zoo True Draco Zoo, you do not want to play this outside this card because they will tribute it for their Dino, for their True Dracos. They will just like, oh yeah, you special summon this during my turn. I'm gonna tribute it to normal summon a True Draco monster. I'm just like, if you want to play this against a pure Zoo deck.
Rest in peace, pepperoni.
Exactly. Then 1 Caius the Mega Monarch.
Ooh.
That's why I don't play Majesty's Fiend. This card, in my opinion, is better. This card is when you tribute summon this monster, you can banish a card on the field. Target 1 card on the field, banish it. And if it's a dark monster, deal 1,000. Now, when it's tribute summoned using a dark monster, this card, the one you mainly tribute with. Say you get this game 2 during your first turn, you go Edea, normal summon Edea, special summon Eidos. Eidos for deck. Tribute, Eidos effect gives you an extra tribute summon. Normal summon. Tribute summon for Caius. If it's used by a dark monster, you can banish 2 cards instead of 1.
Right.
And if they're both dark monsters, you deal 2,000 damage.
That's...
So like I banish two dark monsters. Well, and for its effect, I deal 2,000. Saying I'm playing against zombies. Say I'm playing against like zombie turbo. Banish, take 2,000.
But are you since you mentioned zombies, are you afraid of Shiranui engine since they revolve around being banished?
The Shiranui engine in Graveyard, but if they can't bring it back, that's the problem that they have, honestly.
Okay.
The only downside for the Shiranui engine, if I banish them, they can bring it back, but if they can't bring it back, it's basically a +2.
Okay.
But 2 deck lockdown.
Okay.
This card base says neither player can add cards from deck to hand or special summon monsters from the deck.
Okay.
So this shuts off Zodiac. This shuts off Rapier.
So you're prepared for Zodiac.
Zodiac and True Draco, because they can't add anything off their effects.
Yeah.
Then this is my... Oh, I'm going to show you that in a minute, but... 2 goes in match. This makes it so both players can only control 1 attribute of monster. Yeah, I play this. It kind of downside for this deck because this deck plays light and darks mostly light and dark. I try and keep it to that, light and dark, as well as with a couple earths and a fire.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can basically work around it.
Right.
And this kind of shuts off True Draco because their attributes are all over the place. They have a wind, they have a water, they have a dark, they have a fire, they have a light. They play all of those. So
right.
they basically go the wind check, activate goes in match, they can't do anything. They can't even tribute summon over it to go to a different attribute.
Okay.
Which is cool. And this card is my version for D-Barrier. Grisalia Prison. What this card does is if you control a face-up monster that was tribute, ritual, or fusion summoned, until the end of your opponent's next turn, neither player can synchro or XC summon monsters, and synchro and XC summon monsters cannot activate their effects or attack.
That's broke.
So all I need is an tribute summon Erebus. I set this card, pass. They go summon Momarat, activate Grisalia Prison. They can't do anything for the rest of the turn. Even if they get rid of the, it says if you control a face-up monster, tribute summon until the end of your opponent's next turn. So I activate this during their turn. That means this card's effect lingers for 2 turns. They can't XC summon going against Zoo. They can't XC summon for the next 2 turns.
Right there, they're dead.
Right there, like that's all I need.
Right.
That's all this deck needs.
All right. Anything else? Any like shout outs or?
Shout out to Michael for him. These, if you don't believe me, going to Nats last year, there it is right there. Me at the WCQ. These are pictures of me for tokens at the WCQ last year, as proof.
Okay.
And this is my token for competing in the YCS last year.
Okay.
So.
Alright.
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah.
Alright.
Oh, by the way, Shiranui Zombie is terrible. Don't play it.
You heard it. Shiranui Zombie's terrible. Alright. This was Team YinYang and signing out.
Unless you're just playing Solitaire, then you're fine.
Solitaire? That's all you need?
Yeah, right. Solitaire and let's see, Solitaire, Goblin Zombies. Don't be like this guy behind the camera and play Cosmos in the deck.
Alright.
No, I was kidding.
Alright. Alright, this was Team YinYang.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me.